They never packed their bags in advance. They didn't have suitcases waiting in the corner. Usually, it all started with the phrase, "Let's just fly somewhere." And within 2 days, David and Emily were sitting on the floor, surrounded by scattered clothes, charging cables, and passports. They loved traveling. Not luxury hotels, but the roads, the transfers, the airports, the smell of foreign cities. In Italy, they got lost in an old neighborhood and had dinner with a family where no one spoke English, but everyone laughed. In Spain, Emily burned her feet on the sand, and David carried her to the sea while she playfully punched his shoulders and laughed. In Prague, they kissed on a bridge under a cold rain. In Paris, they slept in a tiny hostel and ate baguettes sitting on the windowsill. They didn't collect souvenirs, they collected stories. In every country, they bought a small notebook. They wrote down only one sentence there. The most important one. And at home, they reread them. "We don't travel," Emily said. "We run away from getting old." "No," David laughed. "We run towards life." And he looked at her, sure that he wanted to live everything with her. They met in a banal way. A coffee shop. A line. A mixed-up order. "I didn't order caramel syrup," he said. "I didn't order you to be so serious," she replied. Within an hour, they were sitting at a small table by the window, talking as if they had known each other for years. They dated for 2 years. They survived poverty, jealousy, their first big fight, night talks on the floor when the power was out, and they ate pizza by candlelight. When David proposed, he was so nervous he dropped the ring box. Emily didn't even let him get down on one knee. "Yes. Even if you don't say anything, yes." The wedding was small, but alive. Without pomp. With tears. And everyone said, "You will have a happy family." And David believed it. Marriage didn't break them. It made them calmer. They no longer ran. They built. Notes on the fridge. Shared dinners. Plans for the house. Funny little fights. And making up in the dark. The news about the pregnancy caught David in the kitchen. Emily silently put the test on the table and stepped to the window. He looked at the 2 lines as if at something sacred. "Are you serious?" "Yes." He didn't shout. Didn't jump. He just hugged her so tightly she cried. From that day on, he began to be afraid. Not to lose her, but not to be able to handle it. He listened to her breathing. Put his hand on her belly. Read about childbirth, fears, and depression. Bought baby things bigger than his palm. And Emily sometimes sat quietly. Often stared at her phone. Flinched when he entered the room. She smiled, but not with her eyes. David blamed it on hormones. Love almost always finds excuses. Labor started suddenly. She was sitting on the cold tile in the bathroom, saying she was scared. He held her hands in the ambulance. "You are strong. Hear me? You can do this." The smell of medicine in the hospital burned his nose. The corridors were empty. The clock ticked too loudly. He paced from wall to wall. Sat down. Got up. Sat down again. When the doctor came out, David immediately knew it was over. "Congratulations. You have a daughter." He laughed in disbelief. Then apologized. Rubbed his eyes. "Is she okay?" "Yes, she's fine." When he entered the ward, Emily was pale. Next to her, a small crib. He approached. Bent down. And he didn't understand what he saw. His brain refused to accept it. His eyes saw, but his mind denied. Dark skin. Curly hair. He blinked. Looked again. Looked at Emily. She was already crying. "David." He walked out. Slowly. Nausea rose. In the corridor, he leaned against the wall and slowly slid down. He didn't cry. It was like his sound was turned off. She spoke quietly. As if afraid to wake the baby. As if afraid to break him completely. A business trip. Loneliness. Courses. A conversation. Coffee. Alcohol. One night. I stopped everything immediately. I thought it was your child. He listened, looking not at her, but at the baby. She's not to blame, he said. Only then did Emily break down. After the hospital, the apartment changed. Same walls. But different air. The baby's crying. The smell of milk. The creak of the floor at night. He changed diapers. Prepared formula. But barely looked at Emily. He took a test. Waiting was unbearable. Every call made his heart drop. The result didn't change anything. But it was a full stop. Emily begged. Cried. Sat on her knees in front of him. Said she'd destroy all the past if he stayed. But he no longer knew how to live with her. One evening he found her on the floor. She was sitting, holding the baby to her chest, silently crying. He approached. For the first time took the girl in his arms. She was warm. She smelled of milk. And she tightly grabbed his finger. And at that moment, something painfully trembled inside him. He packed his things slowly. Not to run away, to say goodbye. I can't be a husband, he said. But I won't become someone who takes revenge through a child. He promised to help. Emily didn't shout. She just nodded. The first months, he lived like a robot. Work. Home. Sleep. Sometimes he opened their travel notebooks. Prague. We got soaked to the bone and were happy. Spain. We laughed for no reason. He didn't understand how the same people ended up here. He started running. Went to a psychologist. Learned to be silent without pain. A year passed. He stood at the door for a long time before ringing. Emily opened. She had changed a lot. The girl walked holding onto the couch. Fell. Didn't cry. He sat on the floor. Reached out his finger. She took it. And smiled. And he realized he no longer wanted to run from her. He didn't become a father. But he became a man who didn't let someone else's sin make him cruel. When he walked away, Emily said, "I destroyed our family. But you didn't destroy her world." He walked down the street, feeling the cold air fill his lungs. And for the first time in a long time, there was no hate inside him. Just quiet, adult, heavy but real silence.